everybody. Welcome or welcome back. My name is Monique and welcome to Medora Budgets. I'd like to thank anybody who's liked or commented on any of my videos, and especially those that have chosen to subscribe to my channel. Truly started this as a way to hold myself accountable, but I understand, recognize, and appreciate the community as a whole. So if you are rocking with me, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you haven't made up your mind yet, sit with me for a spell. At the end of this video, if you find this content valuable or enjoyable, please feel free to subscribe. It's myself and Sweets, married with a whole bunch of kids, trying to figure out our future, family, and finances, so the decisions we're making now won't negatively impact us in the future. Today is Wednesday. It is Wednesday something. It's something on a Wednesday. Wednesday, February the 19th. There you go. I am currently in South Carolina, but I am still at a Starbucks. Just went and got me a caramel macchiato. My first coffee in a while. If you guys saw my last Transfer Tuesday, then you know I was sick. I had the vid, and I've been in quarantine. I've been drinking a whole lot of tea, and I'm finally starting to feel better and get back to the way things typically are with us, so that's a good thing. We are here in South Carolina because we're visiting. Bean is visiting his family for the first time, so we've really tried to keep him kind of isolated, or insulated maybe is a better word, I'm not sure, for the last 2 months, until he got his second month round of shots, and just making sure that everything is okay. So they came back now that I'm feeling better and I'm out of my contagious stage, and we decided to go ahead and come on here. Corinna's on spring break. Oh, not spring break, winter break. So the way our school system works in Georgia, we do a balanced school system. So it's 6 weeks on, 1 week off. And this is their winter break week off. So it was a great time for us to come down. And we're doing it on the weekdays. Had a lot of folks to come in yesterday and visit with him at my mom's house. This is my mother's first great grandbaby. She doesn't hold babies, but she came pretty close to holding him. I think she will before we leave. She is so excited and happy. In fact, she's trying to figure out ways for us to stay for the next 2 days so that we don't have to leave. And I'm like, no, we got to visit, you know, my ex's side of the family and my sister-in-law, and just, you know, everybody's getting a day, right? And she is not happy about that, but it's all good. So we are here in South Carolina, and I have not been able to make a lot of videos, but I did want to come through and talk through at least the budget and actuals for the last check that I received in February, on February the 7th. So that should have worked or lasted me from February 7th through February the 20th, which will be tomorrow. And I should get paid on Friday. I will see if I can do a budget with me while I'm here, but you know, the house is loud and I'm having to do it from the car. So we're having to do things a little bit differently. Anyway, I do have my handy dandy notebook, my iPad mini, and we'll be looking at the like I said, the check that we received on February the 7th, and just talking through the budget versus the actuals at this point. And I will be taking a sip of coffee here and there because my throat is still a little sore, but it's not bad at all. All right, so let's talk through the numbers. So everything came in as expected as far as the income is concerned. So I did deposit $1,500 into the bills account. The variable account did get $825. Micah did send me his $50, and so the total inflow is $2,375, which is what I expected. When you look at the fixed expenses, I did set aside $430 for the mortgage. As you know, the mortgage is changing. It's gone up from $670 to $858. So I'm having to put aside a little bit more as far as that split bill method that I am following. So we are doing the $430, and I put that aside into my buffer account until I'm ready to pay the mortgage. For auto, I did go ahead and pay $255 for that as well. You know, that one's on a split bill as well. AT&T came in a nickel less than expected. I budgeted 96 and it was 95.55. Now I paid $40 for water. The water bill had not come out yet, but I paid $40 because last time it was $36.88, so I figured $40 would be about right. I did get a note from them though, that they still did an auto draft for 94 cents. So it was a little bit over what I anticipated, but not too bad. So as I explained to you guys before, I have all of my bills set up on an auto draft, but I go in and pay them at the time that I get paid. That helps me to see and understand how much money might be left over that I can contribute towards debt and towards the Transfer Tuesdays that I do every week. And this is a prime example of how that works in my favor. So I did go in, paid $40. I thought I was going to be over. I thought it was going to be around $38. And so I thought, okay, I'll pay $40. I might have $2 left on the account. That's not what happened. I still owed 94 cents, and they went ahead and did an auto draft for that. And then I got the notification for that. So that works the best for me, having that auto draft in place just in case. But overall, the water bill did come in a little bit higher. So I do have that marked in red because it was higher than what I budgeted. And Verizon, I thought it was going to be about $20, and it was $17.92. So that wasn't bad. So I was still under budget. I budgeted $841 for fixed expenses. It was $839.81. So that was under budget. And so my leftover is over budget. I have $1 and some change extra, or more than I thought I would. As far as my variable expenses are concerned, I contribute $550 total between groceries, gas, home, dining, over-the-counter meds, Corinne's allowance, and then my me money. All of that totals $550 for the paycheck cycle. And we did that as expected, so there was no changes there. When you look at the debt, so for Kohl's, I paid them $42 instead of the $50. You know, I'm trying to do the snowball method, which we will have a conversation about that on the next Transfer Tuesday. I have some great news to share on that one. But Kohl's, I paid them $42 as expected. Green Sky, I budgeted $90, and I ended up paying them $89.75. So it's just a quarter difference. Rooms to Go got their $100, and I made a partial city credit card payment of $100 as well. So my debt, I was budgeting $332, and I spent $331.75. So it's only a quarter off. So at this point, my leftover, as far as my budget was concerned, I thought I would have about $652 left going into my savings and sinking funds, etc. But I had $653.44. So still just $1.44 more than what I expected. So that's good. I'm good with that. All right, so here's where some of the changes happened. So as far as my savings goals were concerned, I wanted to save a total of $300 for my high priority sinking funds. That's buffer, car maintenance, medical, subscriptions, and property care. But I did decide to make some changes there. So for buffer, instead of doing $50, I just did $25. For car maintenance, instead of doing $30, I decided to do $25. And for medical, instead of doing $20, I decided to do $25. So I'm doing $25 now for those three, as opposed to allocating it differently. And the reason for that is because I needed to get a little bit of extra money back into the budget, because I did want to hit Best Buy as hard as I could for debt to see how much of that I could pay off. I really wanted to try and pay it off. And there's still time, but I want to try and pay it off by the end of February. So I had to find that money where I could. So I decided to back off a little bit on those three high priority sinking funds. I still gave $80 to subscriptions, and I still gave $120 to property care. I don't have any wiggle room in those at this point. So instead of contributing $300 towards high priority sinking funds, it was more like $275. When it comes to the low priority sinking funds, so I did have not a lot of money, but I had $80, $90, something like that in my savings account that I have that's connected with my Chase variable. And so what I decided to do, because you guys know I've been paying class dues or emergency $25 every paycheck, and just kind of going back and forth between the two. Now that I have reached $1,000 in my emergency fund, I'm stopping with contributing to that at this point. And then I was going to contribute what I could to catch up on my class dues to make sure those were covered by the end of March. Since I had some additional money left over in my savings account, I decided to go ahead and make my last final payment. I still owe them $50, and that would be my total $300 that I needed to pay for these class dues. And if you were not aware, class dues is because we are doing our 35th class reunion, high school class reunion. And so we had to contribute, the money in order to take care of that for this year. So I had a $50 that I still needed to pay. I went ahead and paid that for them, paid them off using that savings account. So now I'm done. So I'm not contributing anything to class dues or emergency on this paycheck cycle, and probably not on the paycheck cycle for the check that I will receive on this coming Friday. I did give $50 to low priority sinking funds. I gave $35 to the sweets binder. I gave $20 to the little bean binder. All of that was expected. I was going to give $30 to my emergency prep binder, and I decided not to do that. I kept that money in. And so, I kept the $30. All right. So then savings challenges, I wanted to contribute $90 to that. That's what I budgeted. I contributed $83 to that. I don't know where that number came from, the 83. Just don't ask. I have no idea. But with all of that savings and finagling that I did, instead of contributing $65 initially for extra debt, I was able to make a $100 payment towards Best Buy. Yes. Then on the next Transfer Tuesday, because I had saved so much between the high priority binder, the emergency prep binder, and the dues and emergency, I was able to make another $50 payment towards my Best Buy debt. All right, so that was a total of $150 as opposed to $65. So that's where the money went for a good cause, right? So total, I budgeted $600 to spend for savings overall and extra debt. And I spent $613 instead. Now, when you subtract that from the $653.44, I am still under budget by $40.44. And I'm excited about that as well. So, not a bad paycheck actuals versus the budget for February the 7th. I'm excited. I do have this money in the account. I'm trying to go over now and see. So I know in the bills account, I still have $25.66 left, and then the rest of the money is in my Chase variable account. And so I think we're doing pretty good, especially considering we'll get paid on Friday. I will tally up how much money I'm spending right now just with traveling. Everything always ends up getting a little out of whack when I travel, especially when it comes to gas, because we're spending a lot of money for gas. I've also had to go to Walmart. I actually just left Walmart. I had to get some gripe water for the baby and some other things as well. But Little Bean got his own sinking fund. Little Bean just stuff. And so now we have some money set aside that I'll be able to pull from that. But it's all good. So this is my budget versus actual. Where I can, I'm going to stick in there some screenshots so that you guys can see what I just talked about. But I think we are good. So thanks everybody for your time. You guys have a good one.